This is the Tactical Muffin Top channel, everybody. We got a late one. I was talking about some things with some people. We had the presidential address. We had a lot of things going on. But that's just life. We are simul streaming to Rumble and YouTube. We'll give it a second here for a couple of people to hop in. We do have the chat bot active. And we will see how it goes. How is everybody doing? I'm going to give people a second to go here and drop it in my Discord and say, hey, we're here. All right, live. Yeah, gotta get for going over here. What's up, Lawfully Arm? What's up, Dwayne? How's everybody doing tonight? What's up, Missouri Survival and Outdoors? Are you in another guy's chat, or do you want an invite to this one? Or are you doing your own? We don't know. Well, man, butt wrinkles, make sure you guys shop at meatspin.com for all of your nuclear, biological, chemical warfare needs. 15% off with code Tactical Muffin Top, t.m.t. There's some things I want to talk about tonight. One is how embarrassing old Daddy Biden is at the NATO summit. My God, he can't even say a full sentence. He's mumbling and bumbling and just forgetting what he's saying. And I think I watched it live. I think he's like, I think he mixed up Trump and Harris's name one time, and I was laughing really hard. And I forgot what it was now, but it's a good time. Watch some of that. I'm late, guys, because I was getting some information and talking to some other people and reevaluating some things. I've been heavily prepping on food and things like that and neglecting other areas in prepping. So I want to give who has the lightest rifle rated armor? Probably Safelite. I don't know the weight on it, but probably Safelite, their frass system, which is super duper expensive, or you run like some ceramics would be the next lightest. I forgot the company, what it's called. It's in one of the gun snub tubes I'm on Facebook. It's an armor company. I've looked at ceramics several times there just to cut weight off the plates, but at the end of the day, the cheapest way to go would be plates. Ceramic has a shelf life. If you drop it on the corner on cement, you're going to cry. If you drop plates on cement, you're not going to cry. So it's just depending on what you need for, RMA. Yeah, they have special threat. I mean, you can go cheap. We got AR 500 over here. I got an RTS plates that I wore to work. That's like super duper cheap. I mean,
plates are Gucci.
I don't know about Gucci. They're cheap. It's a big hunk of metal.
They sound good with roll law. I think after the fall, you'll pay till suckers for weight savings.
I will let you know that the only reason I will be donning plates is if we have inbound direct fire and it's more numbers than we can handle. But before they get here, they will be going through bolt gun fire, so that should thin them out a little bit whilst we don plates. I won't be running I will be running soft armor with a chest rig if I'm doing anything. Otherwise, I will be just probably have just a gun belt on with like, I don't know, like a gear tree maybe around the garden or whatever I'm working on, or cutting wood with like a vest / rifle right there. I think that's when you get down to it and you actually start getting physical with what you're going to be doing at your homestead. You're not going to be wearing that shit all the time. You know, you might have if you're on patrol group or whatever, but or an
Like it's
LPOP.
super low priority.
Yeah, I would have. I would rather have your 30 days worth of. I think you should have 30 days of freeze dried food. I think you should have 3 months minimum of canned stuff, and then 6 months minimum of dry food right now. And if you don't, you should make that a priority by liquidating. I know the gun market's soft, but you don't need 20 guns. You don't need. Honestly, I could be super duper happy with 6 and enough mags and optics and everything the way I want them decked out. I I have moved so many of my gun supply because everybody else I have coming has say you have say you have 4 families coming and you all have 10 guns. You have 40 fucking guns. That's enough guns. Honestly, you don't need more.
They
What
will
you
be
need,
plentiful.
yeah, you need guns, or what you need is food. What you need is water purification and water storage, and more importantly, water. You need water catchment. You need ways to replenish your water. You need ways to be able to purify water because you cannot store all the water you need. That's the super duper hard logistic thing is water. The next thing is your shelter. So wherever you're at, and then if I'm just going to come out and say it. If you're in an area where a nuclear attack could happen, if you're near a big city, if you're near a big city where a terrorist attack could happen, if you're near Chicago, if you're near LA, if you're near any of that crap, if you're near New York, if you're near, if you're in California, I wouldn't want to be in California right now. Quite frankly, I don't know if I'd want to be in part of Texas right now with all the shit coming up through the southern border. There's some bad spots to be at, my guys. And quite frankly, the prepping community has gotten so geared up to the point where they're like, "Oh my god, I have to have this gear. I have to have this gear. I have to check off this spot on the checklist for my gear, my gear, my gear." And I'm like, people are like, "Oh my god, I have 10,000 rounds of 5.56. What? How in the fuck are you going to move 10,000 rounds of 5.56 on top of everything else you need? Can you move your a small basic camping setup? Do you have a cook pot? Do you have a tent? Do you have a latrine station? Do you have a luggable loo? Do you got enough toilet paper? Do you got a way to wash your clothes? Do you got a way to hang your clothes? Do you got like a way to heat that's not just wood? Do you have all this crap? Like, dude, you don't need all this crap. You don't need 20 guns with 10,000 rounds of ammo for each gun and all the mags and 14 plate carriers. Because guess what? You look at the back of your truck and you got no room for food. You got no room for blankets. You got no room for the dog. You got no room for your kids' toys. You got no room
Yep.
for a freaking Monopoly game, dude. Do you realize how many games of Monopoly you're gonna play and shit hits the fan? A
I was
fuckload of games of Monopoly,
discussing
dude.
that with relatives last night.
Yeah, like
Stuff that would be priority to take. You know,
yeah. That's why I'm trying to like deck out the toolbox in my truck basically so I can camp in it like pretty luxuriously for minus food and water and fuel because I'm not gonna store propane in there. But
well, this relative was talking about trading in their current SUV for a larger SUV, and made the comment because then that way we could all pile into one vehicle. And I was like, no, because you need space for people and you need space for stuff. It would be a small convoy. We would always move no fewer than 2 vehicles because if you have a breakdown and you've got to like
throw it all on the roof of one or whatever.
yeah right like you got to cut weight and decide. I said
Yeah.
there would be no ideal situation to ever move in one vehicle.
I am. I've come to the realization on multiple things. I am cutting my get home bag down to 20 pounds or less. There's just too many things, guys. Um, I am looking more towards if you're in one of those bigger cities or anything like that, any remotely large population center. If you don't have nuclear biological radiation gear right now, you have you're buying your 5th set of armor or you're buying your 10th AR, you messed up. and you're not checking all the check. You're being very you're being hyper fixated on one point of prepping, and there's thousands of points of prepping that unfortunately need all like taken care of at the same amount of time or relative.
Very
Like, hey, I hit this checkbox. Okay, now it's time for me. I need to rotate to fuel storage. Okay, I got my fuel storage where I want to be for this point in my life. Okay, I got my guns. I got my ammo. I got my fuel storage. I got my food storage. I got my water storage. I got my primitive shelter. Okay, now it's time to come back around. Okay, do I have my lighting? Do I have my fuel? Do I have 8 cords of wood stacked if I have winter? Do I have a way to cool myself? If not, do I have, okay, now it's time to hit solar. Now it's time to hit uh, like a solar oven. Now it's time to hit like your next thing. Okay, now it's time for a camper. So I get out of primitive shelter. Okay, now it's time to hit a year's worth of food. Okay, now it's time to hit maybe like a pallet with one of those things that holds fuel for a truck, and you have it like lifted up so you get some gravity pressure on it. That's your next fuel storage location, opposed to just like 5-6 gallon jerry cans. Okay, now you have your water. Now it's time for a very large rain catchment system with all the filters and everything you're going to need to maintain it, spray painted, cleaned, maintained every year, and you've used it. And you put it into use for your garden, for your pets, for you, just like washing off your boots or whatever. And then it's like, oh, hey, guess what you need for all that stuff? You need clothing, you need blankets, you need ways to maintain it, you need sewing kits, you need iron-on patches, you need a cast iron, you need cast iron cook set all the way through. You need, and then you go to the next thing, and then you go to the next thing. If all you do is guns and ammo, I don't even know if I want you on the chat anymore. Honestly, you're not doing yourself a good service.
just a
You know what I
big
mean?
loot drop.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it.
You're going to be
somebody's gonna yeah, somebody's gonna roll in and say, okay, cool, we'll just mark this on the map. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they're gonna be alive, and you're gonna be dead because they had an extra 20-pound bag of rice and an extra 10 pounds of oatmeal. It might get boring. Yeah, hand tools, man. Big, huge thing. When you lose power and your solar generator, you know what you're going to want to keep going? Is like if you're in the summertime, you're going to want a fan. Do you know how happy you're going to be with just a fan moving some air on you with like maybe like a wet towel in front of it, or like those cooling net gaiters and a freezer full of meat? Opposed to having 10 fucking ARs just sitting there collecting dust and you're dying of heat stroke. Heat stroke kills people. You know what's cheap? A damn box fan, a damn oscillating fan. You can go to freaking Sam's Club right now and get a solar generator that's going to run that in a freezer for freaking 700 muffins. That's what I have. It ain't fancy. You can go to freaking Harbor Freight and do it, dude. You could do it logistically if you have enough fuel saved with a freaking cheap solar or a Predator generator. You can, it doesn't have to be a fucking Honda. You know what's going to kill you? Your environment will kill you before everything else. I'm sorry, like how many people can survive 6 foot of snow, no heat, and you're 10 degrees for a week?
Mm-hmm.
A week, 1 week. Is your 10 fucking ARs going to help you keep you warm? No, they're going to sap heat from you because they're fucking cold. And you don't have 10 fucking wool blankets stacked in a tote somewhere, but you got 10 fucking ARs? That doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm trying to say. Practical, tactical, but you have to have, basically, you need to be looking at being a tactical Amish, a tactical homesteader. I don't care how micro it must be in your suburban home. If you have to buy a freaking Home Depot shed for $500 and put it out at great grandma's house or whatever, and that's your fucking bug out. Probably going to do a lot better up there than an apartment building.
Pat Rat, I'm not dogging you if you want body armor. I
have body armor.
I had introspective this week. Alone, just on the plate carriers we've been discussing, or excuse me, the chest rigs we've been discussing, and like what I wanted is a minimum loadout. And I have decided that I want something that has 3 to 4 mags on it built in, but the capability to add or subtract additional equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, the 20-pound pack in and of itself is a pretty hardy load to wear around, let alone if you threw a full rucksack on because you had to hump it.
Yeah, go 20 miles with 20 pounds on your back. Just put a 20-pound dumbbell in a backpack and just walk. Go
Yeah.
walk around a track. Everybody has a football field in a town. They usually have a track around them. You know how many fucking laps it is for a mile? Go walk 20 of them with 20 pounds in your back. Boy, I tell
So
you what, you ain't going to want to walk the next day.
all of that to say that even with the light body armor, to think that you're just going to wear that every day, like Mad Max action movie, like you're going to do menial, necessary physical labor, you know, maybe if you were the guy designated for like Firewatch, posted up in LPOP, maybe like you have a communal set that sits out there. But the reality is, at any point in time where you were going to be in a direct engagement, that you would be like, man, I wish I had body armor. You probably already got shot in the face. And so it doesn't matter. I mean, like they picked their first shot and it wouldn't have done anything for you. I think it's more of a psychological boost than it is an actual deterrent, um, like a death threat or whatever, if that makes sense.
Okay. I am scrolling down on this. I kind of got on a rant there. I just got humbled tonight in another chat. You know what I don't have is nuclear, chemical, biological preps. I have a couple respirators. I don't even have one for my kid because it's hard to find shit for kids. And I'm gonna say right here, I'm gonna share this, but I am gonna. I'm not dogging you, Pat Ryan. I understand the reduction of weight. It's something I've been doing, A, my body, and B, my gear, because I know my weakest point in my body currently is my back injury. And I'm trying to tailor to myself to make myself as effective as possible with gear needed. And not everything is needed. Um, uh, but he is saying he's selling a Scar 20. He's looking to buy body armor and night vision. The night vision 10,100%. It's a capability that I can't afford. That's why I bought thermal. It's 100% a defensive use for me. And night vision can't see that. I have cheap night vision. Everybody with night vision can see it. So I will not be using it at night unless it's a place I can watch with the thermal, like an LPOP that's in my crosshairs within probably 200 yards. But even then, if somebody's creeping in on that, that's probably too damn close anyway, especially if I'm the only one with the capability to shoot back. It's almost useless. It's almost just for observation only. You don't want to engage with it because if people got that shit on you, you probably lost. So to counter that, I'm looking at like flare guns and stuff too, and like older trail cams. Just have a perimeter of trail cams because it can damage their night vision along with the flares if they hit, a trip mine with some basic shotgun primer blanks, or you get super duper creative in SHTF and don't say things that are on YouTube that can get you in trouble. Boy, bird shot from the ankle height would suck, especially if you had night vision. I'm pretty sure you'll hear the guy crying because nobody's fucking got body armor on their ankle. Pretty high infection rate down there with lead shot. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I commend you for realizing that you don't need to. Now, a Scar is freaking awesome, and I'll probably never buy one because they're super duper expensive and things like that. But I think rotating that into body armor and night vision is a super duper good call to diversify yourself. I'm not trying to pick on you. It's just a thing that's been bugging me, and I have. There's people in mind that are in chats, and there's people in mind that comment a lot that have just a lot of shit, and it's it's shit that's not going to help you. You know what I mean? It's shit that's not going to help you survive. This is something I'm going to challenge everybody to buy this week. This is a prep that I myself am very super duper low on. And let me present this. Start screen share here. Window. Okay. Is it sharing this? Question mark. Feedback. Oh,
Negative.
here we go. This right here. Can you see that?
The 64 bag gold mesh sand deposit.
Wow.
Home Depot sand. You're sharing Home Depot sand.
Oh, that's weird.
It was Discord.
Excellent. Go me. Why did it click that? That's weird. I clicked this. Share this. All right. You seeing this yellow card?
Dosimeter.
Yes. See the muffins on it? Buy this. If you're in a highly populated area and you don't have a minimum of this and this,
$22.99.
yeah.
And
If
buy
you have
that
this,
one, not the one for 18.
say that again. Sorry.
Buy that one for $22.99 because it has free shipping or whatever.
Not the
The
one
one
that's
that's
19.
listed, yeah, the one that's 18 and some change has got like $3.97 shipping or whatever.
This is actually cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you save 5% if you buy two or more. You should have one of these in your. I wouldn't recommend the wallet, but if you have like a business card, you put this behind your ID, right? In your little scan card or whatever, just like your ID badge. Hey, this is Bob at so and so. We'll put this behind it and look at this periodically throughout the day. It will change based on level of radiation around you. And why do you say that, I may ask? How many times have I been saying, watch out for a T attack? Watch out for probably a planned T attack. Russia has already flat said they're going to happen in the UK. There's no way we're not going to get in and out of a world war to save our quote unquote democracy right now without some 9/11 shit popping off here. The shit's going to pop off here, guys. There's enough stuff that's been stolen and brought in to the country. They've been just look at that flight tracker app, dude. There's all kinds of military shit up, nuclear sniffer capabilities around all these huge fucking cities. They're doing it all day long. They're combing shit. They're looking for shit right now. Guess what? It's not on the fucking 6 o'clock news because you have mass pandemonium and then fucking people would know and they'd move shit to smaller, more rural areas. Hello? Shit's getting moved around in this country. Okay? You need to have this shit. If you live in fucking New York and you don't have a minimum of this, but you got 30 guns, you're retarded. Retarded. Okay? You need to have this stuff. And you need to get some gas masks and stuff. And I know with everybody, with the DOD buying up a bunch of shit, just like Bear says in Refuge Medical, they're buying up fucking medical shit. They're buying up ammo, guys. You don't think they're buying up this stuff too? You realize China doubled their military by including the women in their military? You know what they do? They are 100% chemical fucking fighting agents. Because you know why? They don't have to carry. They carry a pistol in these things. Okay. And let me stop sharing this. They just carry a pistol, and they wear their nuke suits and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Stop.
Spray down vehicles and
Yeah. Okay. So here's the deal. This is the deal, right? All they gotta do is pop a bunch of fucking gas, and then when everybody's foaming at the mouth, dead because they have absolutely no warning, they have no protection against this shit. They're walking around in their freaking Chinese-made Tyvek suits and cleaning gloves, and freaking pivot boots, rubber fucking boots from Tractor Supply, and they got their scrub down unit, and they just move into your fucking house when you're all dead. Okay, not a shot fired. What's your 100 guns setting up in your fucking closet and under your bed and and wherever else you got your gun stashed throughout your home in multiple locations? Okay, you got them in multiple locations. Okay, cool. You're 50 guns at your house. Well, looks like they're their shit now because you're all dead. They're just gonna scoop you up with one of those drones they have that clean up dead people in fucking New York. the dead hobo grinders, like the wall. Have you seen those? The little
Yeah.
video of that is creepy. But yeah, they're like, oh, it's
Like
for the homeless people. I'm like, dude, that's for everybody in New York. Okay, there's a reason why they're
a
making.
wall with a treadmill on the front of it.
Yeah, it's like a wood chipper with a little fucking conveyor belt on it, and it just sucks the fucking people into it. Just all right, you're in the median now. Cool. Um, you need this stuff. This is really important. This is one of the probably the most slept on things. Like everybody might have a mask. Have you ever fitted it to yourself? Have you ever fitted just a drywall a painting mask to yourself? Do you know how hard it is? You know how much it hurts your fucking face? Do you know how much just a drywall sanding mask? Not this crap they made us wear for COVID, these little dinky fucking N95s. Those don't do shit. Have you ever fucking sanded drywall? You'll be spitting fucking white shit and you look like you snorted cocaine when you're blowing out your nose for like the next 2 or 3 days. Same with insulation, man. You ever fuck with insulation and you feel it in your chest, man? Like you're itchy all over for like 2 or 3 days trying to get this shit out of your system. It's nasty shit. And that's just normal stuff we deal with, dude. That's paint fumes, that's drywall dust, that's insulation, that's every fucking part of everybody's wall that you live. If you're in an apartment, whatever, plaster, whatever, cool, some wood. You get my drift. Don't fucking be a weirdo about it. Like, okay, some stucco, whatever the fuck it is, some mud. Okay, basic fucking human building construction for the last 40 years has all this shit in it, right? Okay, here's the problem. We don't even have enough shit for that. But the prepping community gets super duper crazy by T. No, it's a TRES. I'm also streaming to YouTube, so you gotta kind of watch. You kind of gotta code your shit. That's why I also am streaming to Rumble, which if feel free to drop in a chat here because you don't have to wait for YouTube to take 23% of it. And when I hit 1,000 and after I do a bunch of hours and shit, well, Tactical Muffin Top is not loaded and is currently trying to rearrange even more shit to buy nuclear biological shit. And I live in the middle of fucking Nebraska and I'm looking at this shit. Okay. Why aren't you people who live closer to these things where they're probably going to happen if I'm in little old fucking Nebraska thinking about this shit? Statistically, I'm probably not going to have to worry about it. I have two things against me. I have the presidential bunker comes here. Why? It's in the middle of the country. It's going to be the hardest thing to get to geographically. Two, almost every railway goes through Omaha, Nebraska. Logistics suck if you knock out all the fucking railways for the entire country. Three, if EMP or something like that happens, guys, just a hack on the grid for an entire week or two, if you have a nuclear facility in your state, you need to look at your wind patterns because if that fails, it's basically like dropping a fucking NUK That's for YouTube, guys. A lot of places have nuclear power because it's really fucking efficient. When you lose your generators for your chillers that cool the spent rods, they radiate, dude. Like you have to keep them a certain temperature before they start radiating. That shit going down, like it's just like getting hit. And every fucking state pretty much has one or multiple. And if you're within a wind pattern of them, you need to have this shit on hand. And you can't have a fucking lumberjack beard. You might have to, you know, suck it up and shave up your face a little bit. Talk to a firefighter who has to put on a firefighter mask. See if you have a firefighter friend or if you have a guy who paints for a living or a guy who drywalls for a living, go ask them to fit their masks on you and you'll see where your beard interferes with it, or you'll see like what you need to do to get ready. Like that's super duper basic shit. Like when COVID was first popping off, I got some NBC filters for a really good respirator, and then like a face shield. That's what I have. You know what I need? Probably need a fucking gas mask that runs NATO filters, and I probably need at least like some rain gear, a bunch of fucking duct tape, some gloves, and some muck boots, some farm boots. You know what else you need? You need multiples of that because every time you go outside, you need to decontaminate all that stuff and you need to trash it. So you need multiple sets if you have to go outside. I would try and plan on not going outside, and if that event were to happen, you would dump every goddamn tote you have. And this is super duper slept on prep that not a lot of people do. Now, it's super important to have some sort of off grid power for this. And having solar is where this comes in handy, because if you have just a regular generator, you're going to have an issue running it, filling it. It's going to have to either be in a garage or something like that, connected to the house. And you have ventilation issues, because if you're sealing a house for nuclear, biological, chemical warfare, you seal in the exhaust as well. What does exhaust do? It has carbon monoxide. What does carbon monoxide do to you? It kills you. That's why solar generators are important, to run small stuff. Like, your air's going to get stagnant. Your hygiene's going to go down. You're going to get that funky smell, even if it's a family of 4. Even if it's just you by yourself, your balls are going to stink, man. Your butt's going to stink. You're going to get that funky butt, bro. Especially if you're working out or doing any patrols or things like that. If you can get a solar generator or whatever to run a fan, and your cooler to keep your meat and stuff like that cold, and a green light. And if you know you're going to be in an area after you've mapped this stuff out that we talk about tonight, just going off of your nuclear facilities in your state and in your local wind patterns and things like that, that's just normal. You're covered for that. You're covered for a pretty good chunk of this stuff. All the totes and stuff you dump out with all your Halloween decorations and your Christmas decorations and everything, that's your topsoil you can save if you know you have some time. Like, if you know you have 30 minutes, you have 30 minutes to grab all of that dirt. The dirt that you can actually grow shit in and get seeds planted in it inside. 1, that's a project that's going to keep you busy and keep you sane. 2, that's going to grow food for you. 3, after the fact that happens, there's a you should download some books and stuff like that now on it, but you have to scrape off basically a certain amount of inches in topsoil before you can actually regrow anything, and then that's where your most fertile dirt's at. So logistically, after that, like growing food and stuff with that, you're fucked. Like, whatever you can store is what you got. And the soil and stuff like that, if it's just in a basement, you can build a little fort of the soil and things like that around you, and that's extra protection versus the radiation. So, think of it that way. There's just a lot of things to consider with it, guys, and it's really, really, really hard to make it a month through that. Like, just the amount of water you have to have stored. And after a certain period of time, you have to wait for the rain not to have anything absorbed in it to drop down. Like, you really need to research this stuff. If you're within an hour and it takes 20 minutes, if it's the storm's over in this town before it hits my town, and that's where the nuclear facility is at, you got 20 minutes to get all your shit sealed with duct tape and plastic and decontamination room and have all this shit ready. So I'd recommend having a tote with this stuff ready, like all NBC stuff. Just having a gas mask and a seal is nothing, because if you go out with your t-shirt on, it's going to absorb through your skin and you're dead. So you can have a Gucci $500,000-$600,000 freaking gas mask with all the filters in the world, but you don't have a suit with it, you're fucked. It's useless. Just like having 10 guns and you're one guy, you can only shoot one really accurately. You could akimbo 2, but you're probably going to get wasted. You know what I mean? There's a lot of aspects of prepping that need covered, and it's so hard. That's why having a group, A, helps burnout, B, helps you get the stuff quicker, C, if you can rotate and everybody can cross-train and learn. Obviously, play to your strengths first. If you have a medical guy or gal, have them stock the medical shit, because they know they'll stop mistakes of you buying stupid crap, and then they can teach you how to use the good stuff and not to buy stupid crap. Things like that. I know it's a late night, guys. I'm not going to go super duper late. Breaking news. This is not breaking news. That's retarded. Nobody gives a fuck about the Trump New York case. That's not breaking news, you fucking gay ass thing. Okay, let me catch up on comments here. Man, I didn't do the background. I didn't do the comments on here. I didn't get your guys' comments on here. That's weird. Anyway, I'm not trying to like burst everybody's bubble and make everybody have like a bad time. I'm trying to spark some things in your head to get moving. And if all you're doing is stacking guns and ammo, you know what you really are going to be? You're going to be a werewolf prepper. And some old man that's got one single shot 16 gauge he's had since he was 14 years old is going to smoke you when you try to come get his shit. So he knows how to run that bad boy. And you might have your gooched out or your 10th fucking PSA with fucking iron sights that you've never even sighted in. And that old man's going to smoke you. Or, you know, you're going to come up against some country hillbilly kid who knows how to run a bolt action 22 mag really good. And he's a fur bearer hunter for that's his car money, right? He's going to wax you with your red dot on an AR with a little scope, bolt action 22 mag. Because that's his way of living. He's put the miles with that gun. He's got it ingrained to him, man. The sweat has rubbed the grip right into his hand. Like where he puts his grip is the same every single time, and you're on your 10th freaking way of trying a vert grip or whatever the newest and latest Gucci gear on that you just bought off Amazon from some Chinese manufacturer, and it fails on you. That old wood stock's wore to that boy's hands. You know what I'm saying? There's something to be said for having gear. There's 10,000% things to be said for experience with said gear. You need the books and things, Daniel. Oh man, I need to catch up on this chat. Daniel's correct. You need tarp duct tape. You need mass between you and it, and certain things. Dirt has a certain amount of mass you need. Concrete has a certain amount of mass you need. You need to get that stuff figured out now and figure out where you're going to be. Maybe you have some stuff pre-located there, or maybe you're like, oh, hey, I'm going to build this place up. If it's like, I don't know, a crawl space or something that you have off a basement, and you're like, hey, I need to beefing this stuff up. So you start, maybe you pour some concrete pad over it, or you put some rock over it, or maybe you put a big garden bed there, like an extra 10 inches of dirt over there, so that way you have suitable radiation protection. Yeah, it's a big thing. It's a really big learning curve, guys. But if you're in a bigger city like that, it's a curve you need to take. Like, if you're just gonna fuck around this weekend and get drunk and watch a couple movies, maybe you don't fuck around. Maybe you have a beer and you sit down for a minute with a pen and paper and you learn something, and then you put it into effect. You know what that's going to do? A, it's going to save you money. B, it's going to save you calories. C, it's probably going to whip you into shape if you go do something in your yard or your house or whatever to get you more ready. 3, you're going to be more ready. So when some stuff goes down, you won't be panicking like everybody else. You'll know what to go to the next step after that. Your next 5, 6, 7, 8 steps. You're going to have it pre-staged. You're going to have it thought out. You're going to have a plan. An ounce of prevention equals to what? I don't remember how the fucking quote goes. I was kind of hoping Lawfully Armed would fill in for me.
A gallon of cure.
Thank you. See, guys, I forget stuff. There's just certain things that we all talk about. And yeah, it's super duper fun and cool to talk about guns and stuff. Man, we really need to talk about the other stuff that gets glossed over a lot. Really do. I have still, yeah, okay. I went back to the top here, guys. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at in the chat. Jesus, Dwayne Christensen has 251 muffins. Nice. Brace and bit and bow saws, chisels, planers. Yeah, dude. Stuff to actually make stuff out of wood and things like that. That's super awesome. Don't poke the bear. Tactical muffin top. After a brief power outage post storms, I'm looking into power failure lighting. Yes. I have plug-in lights, but they only last long enough to gather flashlights. 100%. I really like Lucy lights, and then like in my Amazon store, I have some super duper cheap looking. They look like a light bulb with a hook on them, and they have a little solar panel. They last 6 hours on bright really well, and then they'll dim down for like the last 2 to 3 hours they have. They'll go for about 8, 9-ish hours with light. I use those, man. I bring them down. I put them in my ceiling tiles down in the basement. If we got like come down for tornadoes, I bring both of them down. I just turn one on, and then if I need to turn another one on, I basically double the runtime. Kind of like when Rick went out with 2 radios and only turned one on. Well, it doubles how long you have a radio for, right? And then if you get caught, well, it looks like you guys were just talking to each other. No harm, no foul. They don't know you have a home base that you're operating to. You just extend the life of your battery. Or maybe that was in a book. That might have been in a book I was reading. Anyway, yeah, I would highly look at that. Lucy lights are really good. They're like an inflatable deal. They're pretty lightweight. They're great for backpacking. I like them a lot. I just chuck them in the side of my window that gets some sun, and then if I have a power outage or whatever, like the boy loves playing with it because kids like inflatable things, and they're 20 muffins. So if he breaks it, I just go get another one from Walmart or whatever. It's not a big deal, you know. I wanted to get one of those old school hand crank bench grinders with a good supply of stones too. Yeah, that'd be cool. Something also to be said for those old foot power sewing machines. We got several of those.
Singers.
Yeah, they're kind of hard to get one going if it hadn't been going in a while. But once they get back going, they work pretty good. Pat, right? I'm not a gear slut. I have a lot of my bases covered. No, I'm trust me, Pat. I'm not dogging you, bro. I got humbled tonight on things that I've been prepping. What have I been pushing the last 10 chats? I have food so hard focused because I'm trying to basically get food enough for 30 people for 6 months. And I have other people in my mag doing the same, but some people in my mag aren't as financially stable as I am. So I'm trying to help fill that void. Like that's a lot of fucking food, man. That is a metric shitload of food. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of muffins for that amount of food. It's a lot of time. You know, the cheapest way to do it's dry grains, man. Wheat berries, fucking corn, rice, beans, oatmeal, not milled already. Like you got to buy a miller, like just whole oats, and then get a grinder for the wheat berries, and then like instant mashed potatoes, things like that, and then like you mix that with like fun stuff like pasta and sauce. Like that would be your jazzy. That's your super duper nice night. Like that's your Sunday dress clothes. Like good food night. You know what I mean? Or like nor rice side and a can of chicken. Awesome. It's not rice and beans all week. Like you gotta have some stuff to change it up. But unfortunately, that's a lot of calories to stack, my dudes. So I might be taking. I'm not stopping on that goal, but I will push a little bit harder on some of this other stuff that I'm lacking. You know what I mean? I think the scar for night vision and plates would be a wise trade. Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Lawfully, on that. Potassium iodine too. See, I have several nuke pills, and I have them in all of my get home bags because in the event that you have to get home, you should also look up like where your local shelters are, and they're posted. They have nice little nuclear looking signs and things like that. Usually, it's courthouses, police stations, schools, things like that, colleges, big community centers in town. Usually, they'll usually have some sort of logistics. So maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea if you had a stash location with some grub / some pills / some of those cards at a place like that. If you have the
You go to
ability.
those places. You go to those places, they'll disarm you though. They're not going to let you in with a gun.
Yeah, it's kind of like a FEMA camp. So
Yeah.
maybe get good at stashing shit. And that's to be said. A gun's not always the answer. You have to have some hand-to-hand stuff, and you might have to stash some pepper spray. You might have to keister stash it, bro. I ain't recommending that, but like You might have to stash a knife in your boot if you can get by. And if you can't get it by, you have to have some hand to hand, dude. You have to know how to handle yourself a little bit. I tell you what, if I had nothing but I had a ballpoint pen, even if I just had a freaking little cheap plastic pen, I'd rather have that than nothing. You know what I mean? But it ain't wise to go up against two guys with an AR, with a pen. But if you have a place like that, and then some people, you have family, hospitals I think also have to have it. So if you have somebody like, hey, you work at a hospital, blah, 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 can I put this little tote of stuff like in your car and whatever? Or can you keep this in your car in the event that like, hey, I can walk to you and we can meet up and then blah, 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 whatever. Or if you have a nurse or something, maybe you should buy these badges for them. If you have somebody in law enforcement, they don't have, new cat like little what do they call them? They're like a little key fob that's like $200, like $180. They make a little chirping alarm if you're in an area that has it. If they don't have these things, most just like on Jericho, they have some nuclear stuff. They bust out like the Geiger counter and stuff like that. Having some level of knowledge of you're walking into a place that your body can't survive is probably worth its weight in gold. You know what I mean? Always keep at least 65 bags of sand in the box of truck. Jesus, that's a lot of sand, my dude. I don't know about like that. I'm like sandbags are a super awesome good prep for multiple reasons. Reinforcing areas that's going to take fire, things like that. But this exactly, like if you're in a single level house with a basement, you pull all the furniture into an area where you're going to shelter above you to create surface area, right? Depth, and you layer sandbags over it. That's going to increase your shelter. It will. And then you make yourself a little hidey hole down in there. You make like your little kid fort with furniture, and you stack sandbags around that. That's way better than when you started. 100%. But yeah. We already have tyranny, Daniel. The T's for Terry. You know what I'm saying? YouTube. Dwayne, what if I have that in multiple? Also have a couple counters. Dwayne, you're doing great, my dude. Here's the thing is maybe make sure that your mag has it, because you could have some dude who focuses on only medical, or you could have a hams guy, dude. People can get like hams. They get way on the communication side, but they forget to do other things. Or you might have like me. I'm a food guy right now. You might have a guy just doing food. You might have somebody who just does generators and solar and sells solar generators on 10 million different fucking prepping channels on YouTube and makes a lot of money just so they can go buy other stuff they need. You might have a Mr. Guns and Gear. He just talks about guns and gear. You might have a Nut and Fancy in your group. They need that shit too. And maybe you need to cross-train them so they know how to handle it. You know what I mean? Having that where you're at and the knowledge and things like that stacking, like you're very well-rounded from what I've seen from your stuff. It's really good. Next, continue to make sure that your mag's well-rounded. Like even if it's as simple as lawfully armed, I do believe you had a new member of your mag who didn't have a chest rig and you hooked him up with an older chest rig you had, right?
I haven't yet, but I plan to.
Okay. That is super practical. Why? Why would you waste the money when you have it just sitting there? Then he can focus on something else he needs, like maybe an extra week of food, maybe an extra 6 gallons of water, maybe an extra 5-gallon container of gas, maybe another solar panel, maybe a Geiger card, maybe some iodine tablets, maybe a water filter, That's funds that can go somewhere else to cover a lot more bases. Solient green is per pupil.
He was referencing your hobo Roombas.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's very interesting.
Oh
yeah. It's people. Yeah, yeah. That's.
I know you're trying to go through those, but
yeah, there's a
down
lot
towards the more recent ones. DJ Playnox was reminding you that you have nukes in your state, And then he said something about what do you say? Have you discussed the part of the country that are air quotes sacrificial states? And then he listed off Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, Montana, and North Dakota. I asked him what he meant by that. Get him to
That's
extrapolate.
gross. But yes, we do. But I don't think where I'm at it's going to hit me with the wind. The one way down in the corner in Nebraska was the one that I'm worried about for me. But yeah, pretty much everywhere we have silos to launch could be a problem, right? Same thing. I'll get down to you, I promise. We have nukes in Nebraska, fella. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Um, you have looked into breathe trainers that restrict your breathing while exercising, kind of like wearing a gas mask while moving. No, that is a good idea though. I do have people that use those, but like they don't exercise with them, just like they were testing their lungs and shit, and they had like pneumonia and things like that. Need iodine tablets in mass. Yes. Have a shitload of them. Vacuum seal them. They do have a shelf life, but I'd rather take some that are quote unquote expired than not. Right? Lots of tarps, duct tapes. Yeah. 6 mil plastic wrap. You can buy that shit at Walmart. Um, to my understanding, most of your rads would be absorbed vertically. You don't really need that much around you as long as you're in the middle of the structure. Yeah, but you want to have as much things in between you and it. So if you stack like all the furniture above you, if you were in, say, theoretically a basement, more surface area, things like that. But if you have a shit ton between you and the roof, but you need a shit ton between you and the roof, yeah. If you're on a single level thing, you probably need to be underground. Would be what I'm like. If it's radiation like that, I'm stealing a convertible and heading to Vegas. Vegas is getting smoked, bro. Come on, DJ, play nice. Come on now. No Discord either.
Being overrun
Calm
by
down,
people
Dwayne.
that ran from
Yeah,
California.
that's definitely where the people wallies are going is fucking Vegas. That's funny. No notification. You got no notification on this? Bullfoot? That's messed up. And you're a wrench, DJ says. That's true. That's fucked up. I hunt a gallon of cure. Yeah, thank you. I'm retarded. That's a hunt thing. Wherever you go for a tornado in your house, probably the best place. Yes, 100%. But you can reinforce it. The sandbags are a great idea. Even if you just fill them with dirt, just figure that stuff out. A pound of, yeah. I think if you're in the city, you're probably already dead. Yeah, unfortunately. Vaporizer blinded the people that you need to worry about the radiation or in the immediate area in the countryside. Yeah, the suburbs are going to push out to the countryside. And if they don't have any precaution, they're going to bring radiation on them in their hair, in their clothes, and they're going to bring it further. You know, if it's on their car, they're going to push that radiation further than the weather will. Because they don't know what they're doing. And if they don't decontam, and then you just let them in wherever you're at, you're all dead because you just contaminated yourself. So having a decontamination area is super duper important, especially if you have loved ones in a situation like that are going to, hey, I'm coming to your house when SHTF, or you have it planned. The mag is coming to you, and one of them has to happen to go through something like this. Like, you need to have a place to have a quarantine area. You need to have a place for a decontamination area. You need to have these things kind of mapped out in your head so you can have it set up when they get there, not trying to think of it on the spot, because that's where you're going to make a mistake, and that's a pretty deadly mistake. Thank you, DJ Play Nice. An ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, I had a lot going on in my mind, guys, tonight. Atlas will hook you up. Yeah, don't do that. Daniel might be able to hit an Atlas bunker. I'm not saying do that. There's normal things that you can do. Like, I think we've listed a pretty decent amount of stuff tonight. Fiend Dog is a regular prepper with 152 muffins. Nice. DJ Play Nice. Have I discussed that your country? I am part of the country that are sacrificial states. Man, I hope we're not sacrificial. I guess I don't know what you mean. Like, we're just going to self-tap out our own nukes. I would assume that they don't want to sacrifice states that yield food.
I can only assume he means in the counter assault, he's talking about your expensive prairie dog tunnels that the Air Force runs.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know. I don't want to go in some of those tunnels because they haven't been maintained in a very long time. Probably not worth your time. Um, I guess extrapolate on that DJ Play Nice. I don't really know where to go with that. If I remember right, you need something like 6 yards of standard household building materials, insulation walls, shit like that for 100% protect you. Air gaps don't count. Yeah, well, you have vents, and so your roof's out because you have all your vents for just ventilation through your attic, right? Whether that be up through your siding, up through all the vents in the side of your roof, the vents in the side of your house, the vents for your sewage, the vents for your plumbing, the vents for your HVAC, the vents for your shit fan in the bathroom. You got to be able to see all that. Your fireplace, if you have a fireplace, that's a vent. So that's like not great. Um, I do believe it's 12 inches or 10 or 12 inches of concrete is equivalent to 2 yards of dirt, some shit like that. Don't quote me. But look that stuff up. Different materials obviously do better. Cement's super duper great. That's why basements are nice. And then dirt, sand has a different value than dirt. Cement has a different value. Rock has a different value. Clay, if you're in a place that has clay soil, has a different value. In the states, Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, Montana, and North Dakota. Okay. Torch Spectrum would be a great keystroke. No, it wouldn't. Okay. It's a tranny, not tyranny. Oh, that's funny. I missed that, Daniel. Yeah, the movie Soylent Green. Yes, I haven't seen that, if I'm being honest. And Nuke Plants in Kansas. Yeah, we're right in the middle of a bunch of good, um, bottle rockets since the Cold War began. Yeah, I guess I don't understand what you're saying with the sacrificial thing though. Oh, you're doing the eye hunt thing. I need to do that.
I guess he means like they won't support you. I don't know. He won't.
I think they would probably leave us, yeah, because they would think we have enough shit. But oh crap, Matt's going right now. Shit, my bad.
I think he was going before we ever even started, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't. I think he was scheduled at 9, but then I didn't think he was going to go. Oh well. Just some things to think about. I kind of changed my chat around tonight, guys. This is more important. This I believe is going to pop off. We need a 9/11 type esque event, and to have multiple of these pop off will either A, allow them to put us into martial law, B, allow us to go into World War III, or C, save us from having a pandemic, to have that on the back burner and or flip that order. Problems to look for. Not to mention most of the stuff also works for pandemic, so there you go.
When are you going to do your exclusive stream on Rumble?
I think tomorrow night, depending on when the boy goes to bed and things like that. Depending on how tired I am after working around in the yard. Man shit. But yeah, it's either be tomorrow or sometime this weekend. That one's going to be a more flexible day, chat, for Tactical Muffin Top. Like if I get rained out on doing a project day or something like that, it'd be a good day for me to do it. Yeah, we don't have countermeasures that would be useful, and yes, missiles and food protection, also fucking NORAD. yeah, that's true. FEMA says 6.5 feet of concrete within 100 miles of blast zone to protect from the gamma. Well, hopefully you're not within 100 miles of the blast zone, Daniel. That's a really bad spot to be at. That's what I'm saying. You got to put yourself strategically to where you don't need to worry about that. I mean, 6.5 foot of concrete is wow. Hunters started their hunt. The bag of coyote. Oh, nice. Hey, we all got 41. Look at that.
What about Bama Rays?
I don't know. I have to do some research on it. Might drop some stuff like that in the Discord for people to check out later. Be a good idea. Old Tactical Muffin Top did a body prep, which is the easiest prep to work on because it's the freest prep and it's the one that you have on you and you don't need to go buy anything. I got a bench set for 35 muffins, and I had actually bought all of the weights from the guy before. So for a total of 50 muffins, I have a welder, whatever you want to call it, a 148 total training gym system now. It's got like a pull bar, leg extensions. I can do like benches, an incline bench, things like that. You can do upright rows, butterflies, and stuff like that that are you're not going to like overweight butterflies and blow out your shoulder because it has like a safety thing. So most of the exercises are fairly safe to where you don't need a spotter for all of it, and the weight is between the weight that I got with it and the weight I had that works with it is not enough to kill you, but let's get multiple reps, which is good for losing weight. So, I might not be benching 225, but if I bench 100, 300 times, that's going to get me a way better sweat than just benching 225 2 or 3 times, which is the name of the game. That's how you get the weight. Best grab a YouTube vid or article for that. It would be more complete. Yeah. This is just to spark an idea. We still have all day tomorrow. So if you're sitting around, you're driving around, you're coming home, find a YouTube video and slap it on instead of listening to some stupid ass song on the radio. Like, learn. Knowledge is super duper easy to get in the day of 2024 with a cell phone in everybody's pocket. That's probably killing us. But your brain is your biggest muscle, my homies. Flex it hard. Don't listen to mind rotting crap. Sometimes there's a time for it, like working out. You might want to put on some heavy metal, some rock, whatever. Sometimes, if you're doing yard work, whatever, you might just want to chill out and just jam to some music. But maybe you're just cleaning. And, y'all have to clean. Y'all got to do laundry. You got to do the dishes. You got to do all that, the boring crap, fold laundry. Maybe put on an audiobook or something, a YouTube video that actually will teach you something. When you're doing mind-numbing, repetitive tasks that need done, it's a really good spot to insert it. You know what I mean? That's a really good, easy, free way to better yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. But
form a new wrinkle.
Yeah, 100%. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying this stuff to scratch your back on this stuff, guys. This is a spot that I am severely lacking in, and has been brought to my attention in a wholeheartedly way, especially with I'm getting more and more confirmations that's just basically saying, hey, this stuff's pretty much going to pop off. Like they're missing more stuff here. They're missing more stuff here. They're finding people here. They're finding people here. The tables, I hope that was your mouth and not your wiener.
Those were my knuckles.
Oh, that sounded gooey.
When did you say wiener?
It sounded like a wet fart or a sneeze, like you were trying to hold back. But then I was like, it also sounded like a South Park little dick cheese squirting out. So either one of those would have been funny, but yours was less cool. Yeah, see, we have to have a little bit of fun too. But if there's anybody you guys know with information like this, or if there's videos that you like on it, drop it in the Discord, because you save people some time and they can cross-reference things like that. If you're a military guy, you probably mess with MOP stuff. If you're a guy in control of your town, city's nuclear bunker / like things like that, you probably know some stuff. If you have EMS training, you probably know some of this stuff. If you have police training, you probably have some of this knowledge that you could drop and know where to find it in a relative quickness. And helping out your fellow man's free. I don't have all the answers. I'm learning just along with the rest of you guys. I specialize in what I specialize. Nobody's a pro at prepping, because otherwise we'd all be making a living doing it, right? We're not all Dave Canterbury. We're not all Dual Survival. We're not all Cody Lundeen. We're not all Bear Grylls on Bear Grylls Survival. We're not all on Naked and Afraid. We work normal jobs. We do normal shit. We realize there's a need to prep. Here we are. You know what I'm saying? Breaking news. Bama Rays come from Alabama. Bama Rays come from Alabama. Oh, you're doing the Bama thing. You're gay. The Navy uses something similar if they go through a blast zone. Yeah, 100%. That makes sense. We're FUC Strategic Air Command in Omaha, Ellsworth, AFB in South Dakota, and North Dakota biggest target in is Minot, AFB. All right. Well, thanks, DJ Play Nice. That just made me even more depressed. I think there'd be, I don't know. Let's see. I thought we were juicy enough target just with the presidential bunker and the rail system alone. But I think that we'd have some other stuff before it gets to that. I would hope. Of course, if we all get hacked and then they decide to launch us, then we're really fucked, regardless of where you're at. So you have multiple problems to deal with for that. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm gonna shut this bad boy down in 9 minutes. This is gonna be freelance chat. You guys pick the topic. You see, Biden announced Trump's gonna be his VP. Nuh-uh. I didn't get to finish the thing. Did he really? That's funny as fuck.
I didn't watch it.
Is that a legit thing? Give me that. Give me a video on that.
You have a headlamp you like?
I have a cheap Coast one and an Energizer one. Pretty much something with a red light. Only time I use headlamps is at night when I'm like rolling out my sleeping bag or whatever, or like walking around, turning on propane on a camper. Generally, I just use my flashlight in my pocket because it just clips onto my hat. I use it a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I use this flashlight more than I use my pocket knife. I use the shit out of this flashlight, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, be honest. That's what I got on me most of the time. And especially because I can get by in a lot of places with the flashlight over a pocket knife. Like this is gonna be something I got on me all the time. Yeah, I use the absolute shit out of it. It's like when you carry a multi-tool, you find out you use it all the time, and you don't know how you got by without it before, and then you quit carrying it for a while. There are no nukes in bases in Iowa.
That you know of.
That's because Iowa doesn't exist. DJ Play Nice. Just Dwayne. Yeah, we're not gonna get to the Discord chat tonight, and it doesn't look like a whole lot got added compared to when we looked at it last time, guys. So I'm not gonna waste everybody's time on like 2 or 3 new things and a couple conversations. If you want to check it out, check it out. Probably hit it up. Next week sometime, probably next Thursday. Let everybody get a chance to drop some stuff in. You know, more people get some prepping pictures in on weekends too, because like that's when most people are off and get to catch up on things like that. So, Black Diamond is my favorite headlamp. Check out a Black Diamond. Dwayne goes through a lot of gear. There's one that my electrician buddy has, but it's at a electrician supply house. I don't think you can actually buy one.
A lot of people seem to recommend the Princeton Tech, so I was looking at those.
Mm-hmm.
Flannel Daddy recommends it.
Flannel Daddy. That's a bitchin' name. He got him and Kamala mixed up. Oh yeah, I did see that. I seen him saying something. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I laughed really hard. He was like, yeah, Kamala. He got Kamala and Trump mixed up, and he's like, Trump would make a great president. And I was like, fucking. I was dying. I couldn't believe it. It was so funny. The Kiss song. Oh, okay, gotcha. He was even saying his VP is qualified or some shit. Yeah, he's like, I picked her for a VP. She's done great things for women's health and other things. She could be president, but I'm still the president. I'm not going anywhere. And, honestly, he talked way better than he did at the debate with Trump. So he must have got his meds down a little better this time. Which good for them, I guess. It's like when you carry, or who carries, a tourniquet on body after 90 seconds of arterial bleed, you lose 50% of your blood. Yeah, and pass out, and then you're dead. I'm carrying a tourniquet now, and all I have is watched a couple YouTube videos. But guess what? I have it now. And my Schlissman. I should get a couple more of these. These are, you know what? I'll tell you what. This thing is super duper light, and you forget it's even in your pocket.
Yeah, I've been carrying both since I got mine in.
Yeah, it's not too hard. Where do you carry your tourniquet? Well, of course, you wear it outside the waistband duty rig, so you can wear it on your belt like that. But I've been thinking
No,
about
I don't
carrying
do
it
that.
scout up front and like on my right side, kind of like before my right side pocket.
I wear mine in my right cargo pocket when I'm in shorts, and then I wear that ankle rig if I'm in long pants.
Gotcha. Yeah, ankle rig might be a good idea to look at. But I got the old tactical muffin top. Said anyway, like 60 times. Yeah, oh my God, dude. He's a fucking moron. Anyway, I think we're gonna close this down, guys, because I have to go take a dump.
Man, I've been spewing for the last like 3 hours.
Oh no, I've been kind of yo-yoing it for the last 20 minutes, and I prefer not to
Chewing
rest.
through the tabs.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a later chat, guys, and I know it's maybe a depressing message. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, it was an eye opener, so that way you don't get hyper fixated on one certain part of prepping, and I hopefully you maybe open your eyes. I talked about several things that quite often get overlooked. Like, I don't know if you guys have your laundry situation figured out, but a family of four worth of laundry, or your trash situation, or your sewage situation, like. Sanitation's a huge thing. There's a lot of things to take into account with it, and it helps when you get like-minded people to help you out. So, tactical dad shorts bonus for the camo. Yeah, dude. I'm picking up shorts now. I'm finally skinny enough. Got me some Carhartts. They're pretty comfy. I'm liking them. They got a lot of extra pockets and whatnot, so I like cramming crap in there. But yeah, thanks Lawfully for the like, share, and sub. I am trying to get to 500 subs, guys. If I could get there by the end of the month, I'd be super duper happy. On Rumble as well. Probably not, but I am gaining every chat and every video, so we'll get there. Share it to your friends, share it to your loved ones. Maybe you just have a buddy over and you guys have a couple beers and you BS on here. Maybe he'd learn something, or she will learn something, or maybe you want to bring somebody into your mag fold and you don't really know how to break it to them. Maybe you like watch an episode of Doomsday Preppers and then throw a prepper on in the background. Like, couldn't hurt, right? You got to hire a Mexican to get all that sorted. Yeah. I'm out. Y'all be safe. Thanks, DJ Play Nice. Carry your guns and rock. Hell yeah. I did want to drop this in on Matt's chat. I was going to hop on Matt's chat last night, but everybody in my house has been kind of sick, and I've kind of been also spewing out my butthole. There's just something going around, and there's like no anti-diarrheal in town. Like a whole bunch of people have it going on, so I don't know what's going on. My top 10 handguns, whatever. Heritage Rough Rider / the Ruger, Glock 17, Glock 19, 26, a Taurus G2C, G3C, pretty good. A dagger, Glock 43X, a micro dagger, a Beretta 92C, which is a stainless steel model that the Navy uses because longevity of the parts and stuff. Plus, I like the front sight that it has.
What
38?
gun for the Navy? What gun for the Navy?
Beretta 92C. It's a stainless steel with an aluminum frame, I believe. It's a little bit older gun. I don't know if they ever ended up adopting it or not, but it makes a lot of sense because saltwater.
He sees the Centurion, just smaller.
I'm retarded. I don't know. Whatever the fuck model that one is, then.
They're all.
I seen it several years ago. I only held it in my hand once and never got to shoot it, but it just makes some sort of sense to me. Kind of like having a Mariner shotgun. I think would probably have the longevity of life and things like that. 38 revolver, whatever your flavor. Ruger LCP2 or the LCP2 Max. Probably LCP just because you could ankle carry it, pocket carry it. And then an Avro 1911. Those would be my 10, and there's a couple extra in there for flavor, but also a 19X and then a 45, which is like the 19X, and then with a dot, obviously MOS at all. I'm not hopping in on the SIG. I'm not hopping in on the M&P market. I'm hopping in on practical tactical for me and mine. And the Beretta 92 is just because it's a classic, good-looking gun, and there's a lot of mags out there for it. Same with the 1911. And if I'd hop in on a 1911, it'd be the Admiral because it comes with upgraded sights past all the other ones in the same price point. And I think they're also made by Rock Island. So it's like an upgraded Rock Island. And you get a PSA bundle with it to get an AR occasionally. Win-win. But deuces, y'all.